So good morning, friends, and thank you very much, SCA, for inviting us to share our views on our sector. Uh, we all represent close to 7 lakh crores of GDP, total animal agriculture. This is our contribution in nominal terms. And I will take whatever Mr. Sodhi said forward, that we are Atmanirbhar in animal protein as far as this country is concerned. We produce enough milk, enough eggs, enough chicken, enough fish, and enough shrimp. And we produce so much shrimp that we are the largest exporter also. The good news, because of the collective effort of the SEA, oil mill industry, and our farmers, we are Atmanirbhar in the feed also. So what I will do is that I will run through the current situation with a little bit of background in each of our segments. I will talk about poultry, both broiler and layer, and I'll also talk about aqua. And then I'll touch about a few things which are happening in the industry, which are relevant to the audience here. So let me tell you that, as Mr. Atul said, that it was a disastrous February and March for us in broiler feed and broiler segment because of the rumors. The broiler. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So because of the broiler situation, the consumption really fell to almost 30-35%. We were already producing more, and broiler industry suffered huge losses, according to me, to the tune of close to about 20,000 crores in February and March, as we had to destroy chicken worth thousands of crores and sell chicken at 4 or 5 rupees a kilo because there were no takers. Having said that, the feed demand has also dropped in broiler particularly. We are today operating at about 30-35%. Of course, the prices have gone down because we have seen that these rumors have a shelf life and they die. The consumption comes back, the prices are very high, but the integrators and the farmers are very badly hit. Almost negligible cash with the players. Working capital is already stretched, and we believe that demand will take 6 to 9 months to come back. As the out-of-home consumption increases in all things, demand will come back, but this time it will take a longer time. There will be a gradual increase in poultry consumption and poultry production also. My sense is that we are today at about 40-45% level, and we will get to about 100% level depending on when COVID fades away and when out-of-home consumption comes back. So we should be ready for a long haul. The prices have become remunerative. Prices are above 100 rupees a kilo. Cost of production is around 80. So we are still again in the positive profit zone. But whatever
I think we are experiencing some network issues with our speakers region. So please bear with us. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Balram. Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Sorry. So in egg, I think we are producing at about 80% of our normal levels. One of the things about egg is that people have more faith than anything else on egg. The consumption is also very secular. So it is likely to come back faster. I think the government has to restore midday meal consumption in most of the states, which has been suspended. Once that happens, egg will be back. So there is a good and bad news from the fish sector. I'll complete my points very quickly. Fish feed consumption is very good because fishes are in the pond. The harvesting has not happened, which is not a good news for us because the weight is going up. And once this happens, the fish value comes down. The prices of fish are coming down because Eastern India is the biggest consumer of fish. So today we are happy that the fish feed sales is good, but in future not likely to happen. But in case harvesting does not happen, the placement of fish will be delayed. So we are keeping our fingers crossed. We hope as India opens fish consumption will go up significantly. And once that happens, fish industry will be back. But consumption of feed will be delayed by 2-3 months. So all oil meal producers can keep that in mind. Shrimp is a very interesting story. Mr. Atul pointed out about what is happening in shrimp industry. Yes, out-of-home consumption in Europe, America tanked, and we are the big exporters to these two continents. Almost 50% of our shrimp went there, and the prices collapsed because there were no takers at one time, and government came out with a excellent scheme of minimum support price of 260 rupees for 40 count. But I think the China is a black box in viruses, both human and shrimp. Suddenly, we saw a big surge in demand from China. And in last 2-3 weeks, Chinese demand has really gone up significantly. People are still guessing whether they are value adding and re-exporting or virus is causing damage to their industry. The news is still not come out. So shrimp industry has started doing well. I must also tell you the 40 count prices have gone 310 rupees per kilo, which is a very remunerative price. I hope it continues. The only problem in both fish and shrimp is going to be the brood stock, because seed availability will be a problem. India needs huge quantities of brood stock, particularly in shrimp. Most of it comes from Americas, mainly Hawaii. Once the cargo flights starts coming in, the situation is likely to improve. Having said that, fish and shrimp, both industry is in a good shape. I'm sorry, it is in a good shape right now. Things should open up so that fish consumption start, and seed availability and brood stock availability has to improve. According to me, the industry is about 1.5 to 2 months late in terms of restocking. But my sense is that it will happen, and we will get back to normal conditions in a few months' time. Having said that, I must tell you that a lot of support is needed for the industry to maneuver through these bad times. And I think biggest support is working capital through the banking system, because that is where most of the money has dried up. To my oil meal friends, I just want to say that government is coming up with the regulation in the feed sector, mainly in cattle feed, to control aflatoxin at milk levels to less than 5 ppb. And I think today, whatever data we have collected internally, I think we are much ahead of that. And most of I think oil meal sector has to play a very important role in help cattle feed manufacturers control aflatoxins. So there is a great responsibility both of us have to make sure that we produce high quality cattle feed. I also wish to reiterate whatever Mr. Sodhi has said, that protein prices are a killer as far as this country is concerned. Why we are not able to export poultry feed is because our corn prices and the meal prices are always much higher than global prices. At one time, we were a large exporter to Bangladesh for corn. And if you see, we almost do negligible exports because Brazilian, Argentinian corn is cheaper than Indian corn. So that has to be kept in mind. All of us are working on alternative protein for poultry as well. It can be insect protein. It can be single cell protein. A lot of technologies are coming. There are huge amount of startups. So your competition in future may not be oil meals only. It may be protein sources which have been unconventional, because the kind of requirement the industry has, and you know that we consume 75, 80, 85% of all whatever you produce. And I'm sure that all the technologies and all the expenditure on those technologies can easily pay for in case we discover cheap sources of protein. So I think to my friends in the government, never waste a good crisis. This sector requires a lot of reform. And I think this is the ideal situation. We are Atmanirbhar, but we are also fast growing. We need a little bit of support. And my sense is that please, particularly in agriculture sector, don't miss this crisis. You can reform anything you want. No question will be asked. Thank you very much.
Thank you.